So the Cathedral of Santa Sofia in Kiev, Lucas, is in this book not just as an example of architecture. Certainly, we want to look at the architecture. There it is. But the story here is about this architecture in relationship to a historic development. Look here. The book explains during the 9th century, the rulers of Kiev and Rus, Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia adopted Orthodox Christianity and Byzantine culture. So what we're studying here is how Byzantine culture and the Christianity that is part of that culture gets adopted by another cultural, linguistic, ethnic group, the Slavs. So they say here Slavs, these lands, the lands of Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, they had been settled by Eastern Slavs in the 5th and 6th centuries. So around the time that Italy was falling to the Ostrogoths, and the Ostrogoths and the Visigoths and other groups were moving into the Roman Empire, the Slavs were settling in this region. So this is a Slavic land, and then they explain this region was later ruled by Scandinavian Vikings. So Vikings from the Scandinavian region are interacting with the Slavs. They're sailing down the rivers to the Black Sea and interacting with the Byzantine world, becoming part of the Byzantine sphere of influence. Because remember, Constantinople is in this amazing geographic location, perched right between the Black Sea, giving it access to all of these regions, and then between the Mediterranean, giving it access to these regions. So they continue and explain that in Constantinople, the Byzantine emperor hired the Vikings as his personal bodyguards. Remember, 800s, 900s, the Byzantine emperors having some problems with Islamic armies. It's nice to have these ferocious Vikings on your side. And Viking traders established a headquarters in the upper Volga region and the city of Kiev. There's the city of Kiev, which became the capital of the area under their control. So what the authors want you to understand is that the ruling class of this region are going to be intertwined with the ruling class of Constantinople. Notice that the princess Olga from Kiev, she's going to get baptized in Constantinople by the patriarch himself, the head of the Orthodox Church, with the Byzantine emperor as her godfather. And then her grandson, Prince Vladimir, will establish Orthodox Christianity as the state religion, and he is going to marry the sister of a Byzantine emperor. They are interlocking their fates and their political power. So when you look at this church, you can see it as a Byzantine church in Kiev from the 1000s. So the sort of the middle period still of the Byzantine world, getting close to the late Byzantine world. But it's also the beginning of the Russian Orthodox Church, because the Russian Orthodox Church is the inheritor of the Byzantine tradition because of those events. Russian Orthodox Christianity involves the worship of icons, and those icons are based on the Byzantine tradition of icons, the Byzantine standards for painting icons. So when you come down here, what the textbook is explaining is that this church is where you get mosaics that will establish the basis of the Russian Orthodox Church. And so when we go to the end of the chapter and we arrive at 1453, Constantinople falls, but the culture that you've been studying continues. The Russians will be ruled by someone called a Tsar, Tsar. That's Russian for Caesar. The ancient Roman Empire used the name Caesar as a ruler. So remember, Rome doesn't die. It goes east and becomes the Byzantine Empire. And the Byzantine Empire doesn't die. It moves north, and it becomes the Russian Orthodox Church, ruled by a Tsar, a Caesar in Russia.